What's up, YouTube? It's NickBallz here, and I'm here at my dad's house, and I just wanted to explain to you guys what I did to lose 26 pounds in 2 months, and this was for the Enhanced Athlete 8-week challenge, which I'm participating in right now. Hopefully I'm going to win, and I just kind of wanted to go over simple things like diet, supplements, training, and that kind of stuff. So I'll start with the fact that I knew that this competition was going to start a month before the prep started. So a month before I started my diet, I knew that I would be starting my diet in a month. So that gave me, a good time to get ready and prepare and kind of start getting simple things out of my diet to make it easier for me to lose the weight in the time that I had given. I first started the month before the contest by removing simple sugar from my diet. And I did that in really simple, easy ways. The first step I did was I stopped putting sugar in my coffee. That's it. That was how this whole thing started. I stopped putting sugar in my coffee, and I stopped eating sweets, which I wasn't a big sweets guy to begin with. I also stopped drinking pop, which I wasn't a huge pop guy to begin with, maybe 1 or 2 pops per week. That's soda for those who don't live in Illinois. And so I stopped drinking pop, I stopped putting sugar in my coffee, and that was before the diet started. That's what I did to get my body kind of ready to start dieting. Now keep in mind, I've never done this before. I've never dieted. I've never had to compete before. I've never tried to get shredded for a show or anything like that. So this was all new to me. I had no idea what I was doing. So I kind of just went online and looked up, everything that I could to help my body get into condition for the show. So I'll explain it to you in the ways that I think make it simplest and easiest for everyone to understand. And then hopefully you can use these principles to diet or just, get in better shape. All right, so the diet started as an 8-week, so 2-month prep. And think of it kind of like a funnel. So the funnel starts here. This is week 1. As you've seen in my videos before, we have done the meal prep video, which kind of showed you what I eat on a regular basis. So with that in mind, week 1 started with very similar macros and food ratios. I might break those down all in a later video, but keep in mind, I don't measure anything, and I don't weigh anything out. I kind of eyeball it all. I know how much I'm using, per serving, so it's easier for me to just figure that out and then do the math and divide it up. So week 1 started with almost no changes. The week before I started the prep, I got really, really sick. So I had to slowly add in cardio. My lungs just got shot like the first week of this prep. So week 1, I really couldn't add in a ton of cardio, and the food I was eating kind of remained the same, meaning I was still having carbs for breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal every morning. There was still a serving of rice in my lunch, and I think I cut carbs for most of my dinners, but not significantly, probably around 25 grams of carbs for my dinner. And I would have a shake in between. So with a snack in the afternoon, a shake in the evening, and then dinner, I was having 5 meals per day, if you count each of those as a meal. My protein was still staying the same between chicken, red meat, and fish. Every other day it would kind of vary. Monday nights I'd have steak and vegetables. Tuesday nights I'd have chicken and vegetables. And Wednesday nights, this is where the diet really started to get strict. Within the first 2 weeks, I cut out having dinner on Wednesday nights. I would only have a shake. And then Thursday I would fast for 24 hours. And I think this was the key to my weight coming down. So I went from, in the first week of this prep, I was 195 pounds, And currently, as of today, which I'm a week and a half away from competition, I am 169 pounds. So I lost 26 pounds in basically a little less than 2 months right now. And I'll go over more about how I kind of use the diet in synchronicity with training and how my training changed over those 2 months as well. So we know that the first week or the first 2 weeks, nothing much changed at all with the diet. In fact, I pretty much kept everything the same. For the only other changes that I made was adding in cardio. I was doing 20 minutes of cardio post-workout, and that was on week 1. Week 2, I added in 20 minutes of HIIT cardio in the morning. And the only reason I added it in week 2 is because my lungs were still recovering from being sick for a week or 2 before I started the prep. So I kind of had to get my lungs ready to be able to do more cardio. So now we're on week 3 and 4. And this is where things got a little bit more strict. I took the carbs that I was having in the afternoon with my lunch and halved them. So 1 serving of rice turned into a half serving of rice. I was still having oatmeal in the morning, but I definitely kept the carbs down in the afternoon. And I completely cut carbs in the evening. Now, for those people who are trying to lose weight in general, I'd always make it a point to try and not have any carbs at night. You really don't need them as far as recovery goes later on in the evening, and your body's probably just going to end up turning them into fat. This whole diet allowed me to figure out the rhythm of my body, and as I slowly dieted down, I was able to listen and feel what my body needed at what times. This is very important. As far as how I lost this weight, it got easier and easier, not harder and harder. And it's because I learned the inner workings of my body. I'm gonna write some sort of blog post, or maybe I might come out with a PDF you can download of exactly how I did all these steps, step for step, instead of just making a quick YouTube video, so that everybody can kind of benefit from this knowledge, because it wasn't hard to do. Now, the first month has been completed. My workouts, as far as training goes, haven't really changed. I was still doing chest on Mondays, like everybody. Well, chest Mondays is for everyone, not just me. And then I would alternate between back and shoulders on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday was my off day. Friday, I always did legs, and Saturday was just strictly for arms. Now, when training started, I kept Sundays for my abs. I knew that I wanted my abs to be a showpiece in this contest, and I wanted my abs to really stick out. So I wanted to dedicate 1 day a week to training my abs specifically. Now, I did cardio on that day as well, just to help burn the fat off and keep me lean. But it was more focused on ab training. I'd probably do 3 or 4 different ab exercises on that Sunday and run circuits in between. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, what supplements I was using. Okay. First, the multivitamin I was taking. I was using just GNC Megasport for men, basic multivitamin, nothing crazy here. I would go down the facts, but there's too many to list. You can find it online. It's just a regular GNC multivitamin. Next, I was using Sensor Body Toner by Tonalin. This was it's a flaxseed oil supplement that also includes CLK. It's a good fat burner, but I was mostly using it as a source of omega-3s and 6s. This was kind of like my fish oil pill, but it has CLK in it, so it does help burn fat. As to how effective it is, I think it needs to be used for a long period of time. So if you're going to use this, make sure that you're taking it for at least several months and you're using it throughout the day. All right, Animal Flex. When I first started the prep, about a month before I started, I was having a ton of issues with joint pain, especially when I was benching. My elbows were just catching fire, and I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. I was like, geez, I need to do something about this. So I found Animal Flex, and it changed my life. I know there's tons of joint supplements out there. I'm sure all of them are probably pretty good. Animal Flex is the one that I went with. There was some discount for it on bodybuilding.com. You could probably find the same discount. I think it's like $20 for this thing, and there's I don't even know how many are in here. 44 packs of Animal Flex. If you've never seen them before, they come in this kind of like container here. You take all of these at once. I know people are going to say, oh my God, it's 8 pills. It's not that bad. I took them at lunch, and they were super easy to use, and I noticed results immediately. Within the first 2 days, I didn't have any more joint pain. I was benching just as well as I would have before, if not better, and I never had to deal with sore joints. Next, onto the enhanced athlete supplements. MK677, oral growth hormone by Enhanced Athlete. I didn't use a ton of this. I used it over the weekends because I actually have an adverse side effect where this stuff, which normally makes most people sleepy, made me wide awake. So I would take this on Fridays and Saturdays, and it did aid in fat burning. It definitely makes you hungry, but there's a connection in my mind that I make with hunger and my body's ability to burn fat. So this was a lifesaver, and Enhanced Athlete always comes through. Dr. Tony Huge, he hooks it up every time. Next, Enhanced Athlete Code Red. I did a video on this. I'm not going to go into too much of detail, but Code Red is a fat burner. It includes yohimbine, which you'll see what's next, and caffeine is pretty much what's in this one. I also use this in conjunction with their fat burning cream, which I would rub on my abs every Saturday before I did fasted cardio in the morning. I'd take 3 of these and then 2 of the next pills I'm about to show you, and I would use that once a week on Saturday, just these by themselves. And next, coming in hot, yohimbine by Enhanced Athlete. Now you could get this from anywhere, but I would recommend getting it from Enhanced Athlete. They have got the best price on yohimbine. Now this was the secret to burning all of the fat I did in 2 months. Remember, I lost 26 pounds over the course of 2 months. And the first month and a half, I used this every day. Now, you can overdo it with yohimbine. If you go on the Enhanced Athlete channel, you'll see that there's a yohimbine overdose video that he recently posted. You definitely can overdo it with this stuff. I would recommend 5 milligrams per day for a woman, up to 10 milligrams per day for a man. If you're really trying to get into fat burning mode, you could probably use up to 20 milligrams per day. But like I warned you, you can definitely take too much of this stuff. What are adverse reactions to yohimbine? Increased heart rate, anxiety, a lack of sleep. Now, what happened to me was I took this for a month and a half with no problems at all until about the last week, where I started to get sleeplessness, and I couldn't sleep for about 3 days in a row. I was getting towards the end of my prep as it was, and I decided to stop taking it. By the way, yohimbine, for the amazing fat burning qualities it produces, it also makes you hold water. So you really can't take it the last 2 weeks of your prep anyway. So it did the job for me, and it just makes you feel amazing. There's no caffeine in just the yohimbine, so you don't have to worry about being jittery. I'm not a fan of traditional fat burners that are just jacked up with caffeine. I'm kind of a caffeine adverse. So the yohimbine was amazing. I might end up using it all year round, even when I'm bulking. I don't know I just felt like it helped me tremendously. I can't recommend yohimbine enough. If you have any questions about yohimbine, please feel free to email me. Find me on Facebook or Snapchat, or email me. I will tell you what I know about yohimbine. There's another supplement that I forgot to bring that really did help me on when I was eating carbs. It was Enhanced Athlete Slin. I used Slin every carb meal. It's a nutrient partitioner. Now you can find these carb blockers pretty much anywhere. I get mine from Enhanced Athlete. I find that they work great. I'd take them every morning on Saturdays when I'd refeed, my carb refeed days, which were Saturday mornings and sometimes Sunday mornings as well, depending on how I looked. And I would always take Slin before having oatmeal or before any carb meal, really. It just is a kind of precautionary measure to make sure that you're partitioning your nutrients to go towards your muscle gains and instead of going into your fat gains. So that pretty much takes care of the supplements. Now, as far as training goes, like I said, training stayed the same for the first month and a half. Only recently has training changed. Cardio stayed at 20 minutes of steady state cardio post-workout, every workout, and then in the mornings I would do HIIT cardio. And to be honest, I was getting so lean so fast that I took out the HIIT cardio after about the first month and would just kind of add it in as I felt necessary. HIIT cardio really burns fat for me, and it really got me pretty small in a pretty quick amount of time. So on the weekends, I really tried to focus more on cardio. 30 minutes in the morning, steady state, and 20 minutes post-workout, also steady state on the weekends. Followed up, now in the past 2 weeks, I've followed that up with another 30 minutes after dinner. And I felt like that just helped integrate the food that I was eating, and it led to me burning fat longer overnight, which is an incredibly important period for your body to burn fat. If you're not getting good sleep, you're not going to be burning the calories that you need to be. To wrap this up, I'm in the last week and a half of this right now. This is crunch time. It's as hard as it's going to be right now, and I feel great. I'd love to show you guys like what exactly I look like. You could probably go on my Instagram and see some pictures that I've taken recently of my condition at the moment. I feel like I'm pretty well conditioned for a 8-week prep, which is pretty short. Most people take 12 weeks to get prepared for a show. And I lost 26 pounds, which was basically all fat, in 2 months, or a little less than 2 months. You can do it too. It's not hard. It just takes some dedication, and you have to be very, very strict on your diet. One last piece of advice. I think food is one of the most important things as far as our appearance and our physical fitness goes. And one important food that made all the difference in this prep was asparagus. No lie, asparagus has changed my life. I'm currently eating asparagus with every meal, except for breakfast, because that'd be gross. But I eat asparagus every day now, every meal, and it's flushed so much water off me. I'm currently water loading, which means I'm drinking about 1.5 gallons of water per day at the moment, and my water is still staying off. I'm not retaining a ton of water, and it's because I'm eating a lot of asparagus. If you're trying to get water off just for maybe a vacation or a wedding or something like that, you just want to feel less bloated and you want to be able to move a little bit easier, asparagus is key. It's what they put in all of the natural water pills that you'll see over the counter that you can get to help get water off. Asparagus extract is what they use. I say screw it, just eat the real stuff. Well, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be filming a video that kind of recaps training, and we'll show you some before and after pictures on over the weekend here. Hopefully we can get that edited and up in time for the show. And of course you guys will see some pictures from the photo shoot that takes place after, and hopefully we win this thing. Enhanced Athlete, they know what they're doing, and they back pretty much all of my success. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, guys. Links to my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Snapchat are in the description below. Check out enhancedathlete.com. I'll include a link for 15% off. And stay swell and swole, my friends of freedom, pioneers of human evolution.